Okay, welcome to Align to Thrive in 2025. I'm so happy you're here. Um, Today, we are going to talk about how you can align to the energies of 2025. And we are going to talk about the moon and why aligning to the moon can help you manifest bigger, faster. We're also going to talk about the astrology things that are happening in the sky in 2025. We have a lot of big shifts this year. And then I am going to help you think about your vision for 2025. So, and no matter when you're watching this, this was going to work for you no matter when, even if you're watching this in 2026, 2027, like it doesn't matter. Some of these, even the astrological shifts will still be in place. So let's talk about the moon cycles. So I started working with the moon in around 2016 or 2017. And there is a reason why I love working with the moon. So, first of all, the connection and self awareness you get. So, the moon invites us to pause, reflect. It invites us to tune into our inner world. The moon in astrology represents emotions. And whenever we can tune into the moon, it can help us tap into our intuition. And like I said, the self awareness. Now, each phase of the moon is slightly different, and we're going to talk about the different phases, but it is a chance to do these little check ins and assess how you're feeling. It's also can be used for getting really intentional with how you want to live and manifesting. So, the new moon is ideal for planting seeds and setting intentions, while the full moon is more about releasing and letting go of things. So there's different phases that can help you live with more clarity and direction. Um, it can be used similar to the seasons where the new moon is all about spring and planting new seeds. And then the full moon, you can think of full moon as kind of like summer, where it's more like you have more energy. And also, it's like this, you're like almost to the harvest. Improving your energy management. Now, the phase offers each phase of the moon cycle offers a natural rhythm for action and rest. And this is something the moon has really taught me over the years of working with the moon. I recognize there's phases of the moon which is really about taking action, and there's phases of the moon that invite us to go more internal and assessing our emotions, assessing our feelings, and tapping into that intuition. So, and there's a new moon cycle every 28 days. Like, we are not made to just go all the time. And so if you can tune into the moon cycles, this is a chance for you to understand like when you should be working and when you can be more in rest. The moon can also help you get into greater alignment with nature. Now, the moon reflects the cyclical nature of all things like growth, change, release, rebirth. If you think about the four seasons that we have, you know, winter is more of like a hibernation phase, and it's really about thinking about what you want this next season to be. Where and then, of course, we have spring, which is more about planting seeds. Summer, you're kind of just taking care of things, making sure the plants are getting enough sunlight and water and all that. And then in fall, there comes a harvest, but also think about like the trees, like they lose all their leaves at, at the end of fall. And all of this is the cycle of starting new again. It's also it can support your hormonal balance. So it's no coincidence that the moon cycle is every 28 days and the female menstrual cycle is also every 28 days. So often, if you start tracking your cycle, you often will find that your cycle may sync up with either the new moon or the full moon. Mine switches throughout the year. So part of the year I'm bleeding on the new moon, and then part of the year I'm bleeding with the full moon. Again, we talked about the stronger intuition and inner guidance. When you can start to tap into your inner world, it can become like your emotional guidance system. It's like an internal GPS, and you can track your rhythms, you can track your energy, and knowing like what part of the moon and the lunar phase you're going to have more energy and which ones you're going to have less energy. And you can plan your own activities accordingly. So, the moon cycle, let's talk about the moon cycle. Every 28 days, giving you a chance to reflect and redirect. So from the very, very start of when I was starting to lose weight, I always set new goals every single month. And it's part of how I would keep motivated for myself. I was always just setting new goals, new progress points. And this followed me, but now I actually utilize the moon instead of the calendar. So I still set new goals every single month, and every single month it's just an opportunity for me to check in and see if my goals are still aligned, if there's things that I need to change, if I need to redirect my energy. So the new moon phase is all about planting the seed. So this is a time to go within. This is a great time to journal. And if you are a woman who's still having a monthly cycle, this is similar to if you were bleeding. So when you are bleeding, like your energy's tanked. And similar, you may find this similar with the new moon phase is we don't have as much energy. And that is because this is an invitation to go within. It's not necessarily about doing all the things. It's about slowing down and really reflecting on what seeds you do want to plant for that next season. And there's technically 8 phases, but we're going to talk about 4, and the other ones are just kind of in between. There's 4 main cycle phases. So the second phase is the waxing moon. It's also called the first quarter moon. So this is a point where you start to take action. We set our intentions on what we wanted in this next lunar cycle. And so this is a point for you to understand like what projects you need to do. What kind of action do you need to put in place to reap the fruits of your labor? The third phase is the full moon. It is a point of celebration and releasing what no longer serves you. So during the waxing moon and the first quarter moon, you will start to notice your energy slowly increasing. And that's when you want to start taking action. And then in the full moon, this is when your energy is typically the highest. And this is similar to your ovulation phase, where during ovulation, a woman will be she'll have her most energy. She'll feel more social. She wants to go out. She wants to socialize. She wants to be around people. And this is very typical of a full moon. It is about celebrating your progress, which I think a lot of people miss that part, but it's also about understanding where you need to course correct. So it's like the midpoint of the lunar cycle where we're like, okay, this was my intention, but I can see where maybe this isn't working or it's not aligned like I thought it was. And so during the new moon phase, the moon is dark. And so we can't really see, and we're having to use our intuition to really, feel our way through. But by the full moon, it is fully lit up. It's a luminary and it's able to shed light on maybe things that are not working. And then the fourth phase is the waning moon and or the fourth quarter moon. And this is a point where your energy is going to start to wane a little bit. It's going to start to decrease slowly. And this is a point for one, you could wrap up any projects you have, but really this is a point where we're coming into a point of reflection and recharging and getting ready for that next lunar cycle. So, the next section, I want to talk about the planetary shifts that are happening in 2025. And there's a lot. So, all of our outer planets are shifting signs this year, which is it's a signal of starting something new. It's a start of a new cycle, a new season. Um, so the past couple years, we've been really ending a lot of karmic contracts, a lot of you probably just lessons that you've been learning, and you get to take those lessons and move into a new cycle. So Pluto is fully in Aquarius this year. Now, the past couple years, it's kind of dipped its toe in and out. It was finishing things up in Capricorn, and now it's fully in Aquarius. So Pluto is a planet of disruption. It is a planet of not disruption, destruction, like tearing things down, rebirth. It's all about things that are under the surface. So you can think back to when Pluto went into Capricorn was in 2008. And Capricorn is a sign of big business, like corporations, institutions, government. So in 2008, we had the real estate crash, we had the mortgage industry crash. Um, a lot of corporations went down. A lot of like exposing corporate greed was a very common theme when Pluto was in Capricorn. And so it's going to be different now that it's in Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign of the humanitarian and of technology. And it's very much like for the people. And so I'm thinking of Pluto and Aquarius as like giving the power back to the people because Pluto is a planet of power. And so, how you may see this play out, I mean, we're kind of already seeing this play out, but it is kind of giving people voices that maybe just giving like regular people voices. It doesn't matter how much money you have or if you're a billionaire. Aquarius is also like a technology sign. So we might just like find that maybe AI, it like kind of the dark side of AI might be exposed in all of this. Dark sides of technology. We kind of saw a preview of this when Meta and Facebook and Instagram got flagged, and there was a whole lawsuit about how they were utilizing they were stealing people's information and selling their information to other companies. So we may see more of that going on with Pluto in Aquarius. And we can personalize this by understanding where these signs are in your chart. So where you have Aquarius and how Pluto is going to be working with that particular house in your birth chart. So Neptune just moved into Aries as I'm recording this, and so Neptune is a planet. It doesn't move. I think it moves like every 18 years, I believe. So it's been in Pisces for a really long time. And Neptune is a planet of illusions and dreams and fantasies. And Aries is a planet or a sign of like revolution. It's like a trailblazer. It's the first sign of the zodiac, which is giving the theme of like new cycles. Neptune in Aries, I think Neptune also rules over like Hollywood and the music industry. So we're already seeing like a lot of big names going down right now in the music industry. So we might just see a rise in um, new themes around show business and movie genres and music. I know I'm connected to quite a few people who are starting to dip their toe in the music industry, and these people are spiritual teachers, and they're starting to utilize music in a spiritual way. And so we might even see that. And Neptune is a planet of spirituality. And so Neptune in Aries, we might see like a new age stuff coming in, like spiritual gurus, new gurus kind of stepping into the scene is a possibility. We also recently had Saturn move into Aries. And so Saturn and Neptune, as I'm recording this, Saturn and Neptune are together. Saturn is a planet of discipline, hard work, structure. And it's been in Pisces for the past 2 years. So it spends 2 years in a sign. And so, again, we can personalize this to figure out where you have Aries and where Saturn is moving in through and how we can personalize that. And so, when you know your chart, you can understand kind of the big themes of your life in 2025. So Saturn in Aries is not super comfortable because Saturn likes discipline and hard work and delayed gratification. And Aries likes instant gratification. Aries likes to it's very impulsive and it likes to do things its own way without thinking about the consequences. So it's a little bit different. Now, Uranus is going to be moving in Gemini. into Gemini. It's been in Taurus since 2018. So you can think about some of the themes that you've seen in your own life in 2018 and also understanding where you have Taurus in your chart. But Uranus is a planet of disruption, rebellion, sudden changes, sometimes electric shock. Like the changes won't necessarily be gradual. It could just happen, like feel like it happens overnight. So Uranus has been in Taurus, and Taurus is all about money and resources. And so we've seen Uranus been working through Taurus, changing our money system, our food supply, Bitcoin and um, crypto have really come into play over the past several years. So that is the work of Uranus as it's been moving into Taurus. But it's going to be shifting into Gemini in July. And so Gemini is another sign of, it's a sign of communication and technology. So a lot of astrologers are predicting that your AI is just even going to be even bigger this year and next year because with Pluto in Aquarius and also Uranus in Gemini, they're going to be kind of working together, and AI is a common theme there. So we might just like change how we're utilizing AI. We might be changing how we communicate with AI or with each other. Now, Jupiter is in Cancer. Jupiter literally just moved into Cancer the past couple of days. And Jupiter is a planet of expansion and abundance and good luck. And Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and that could be good or bad. However, in Cancer, Jupiter really likes to be in Cancer. It's really at home in Cancer. So this is like my favorite thing about this year is the Jupiter in Cancer. So it does change signs every year. It's been in Jupiter since last June. And again, Gemini is a planet of communication and learning. So I don't know what you've been learning over the past year, but Jupiter in Cancer is a sign of family and nostalgia and taking care of people. So I think Jupiter in Cancer is really asking us, like, how can we take care of each other? We also have the eclipses in Virgo and Pisces. So the South Node and the North Node moved into these signs in January. The South Node and the North Node stay in a sign for about 18 months. So we have a series of eclipses in these signs. So whatever happened in March was like a preview of what you have to come in the next 18 months. Now, the North Node and the South Node, they're direct opposite of each other. And the South Node is comfortable, but it's also a point of letting go of something. And it's in Virgo. So when we think about letting go, we want to let go of the shadow sides of Virgo, which can be like perfectionism, being overly critical. So these are the things that maybe you're needing to let go of, things needing to be in a certain order or things needing to be perfect. with the North Node in Pisces, Pisces is a very spiritual sign. So both Virgo and Pisces have in common is they're healers. But Virgo is a healer in the physical world, like health, and Pisces is a healer in the spiritual world. And so with the North Node in Pisces, we're really being asked to kind of go with the flow and again, letting go of the details and being willing to just like go with the flow and knowing that things always work out the way they're supposed to. Now, the eclipses have a way of directing you onto your path, onto your purpose. So I always say, if you during eclipse season, pay attention to what leaves you, whether that be, you could lose a job or, a relationship ends or a friendship, you have a blowout fight with a friend. Last April, there was an eclipse in April, and there was an eclipse in Aries. And I have Aries in my sixth house, and I ended up getting into an accident. And at the time, I'm still working. At the time, I was working for a CPA and in tax, and I'm still there. However, when I got into the accident, I knew immediately it was asking me to switch up how I was working because being in the tax office is not my purpose and it is not my calling. This is my calling. This is what I'm called here to do. So I knew in that moment, right when I got into the accident, I was like, oh, I know exactly what this is about. And so eclipses just have a way of like trying to get your attention to redirect you. So just pay attention to events that might happen. We also have 3 Mercury retrogrades this year. We already had the one in Aries. We also have one coming up in July that's in the sign of Leo. And we have one in December that is in the sign of Sagittarius. So I want to invite you into your own personal reflections. First of all, what were your biggest lessons and growth opportunities in 2024? And also, what are you ready to release as you move into 2025? How do you most want to feel in 2025? What are my top 3 goals or desires for the year? And which areas of my life need more alignment? And then a bonus is if you know what areas will be most impacted by the stars. Like I can look at the planetary shifts and I know there's a lot of stuff happening in my sixth house, which is Aries. And so I know the sixth house has to do with my work, has to do with my health, has to do with my daily routines. And so if you know that information, then it can help you better plan. And that is why I created this, Align to Thrive, because when you know what the stars are doing in your chart and what is being asked of you, you can better plan. So, with that, I would invite you to create a vision board. Here's a vision board I created. Well, I started to create this the beginning of the year. So, there's just some images, some of my goals. Obviously, spending more time with friends is on my goal. Um, Making more money. My health is huge for this year. We just got out of a divorce last year, and so my health has just become a priority where I'm just focusing back on myself. So I would invite you to put together a vision board. It can be digital, or like you can do it the old-fashioned way, cutting out magazines, putting it on a poster board, somewhere where you can look at this and you can see this on a regular basis. And then if you want to take this deeper, I can help you align with the planets and the stars. I have you can book a natal chart, birth chart reading with me, and I can help you navigate what is happening for you. Um, I also have a monthly membership coming up, hasn't launched yet, but that is in the works. And then also, I offer one-on-one coaching. I have VIP days available where you and I would work together for about half a day and really deep dive into your chart all day and figure out where you can get into alignment and what your chart is really asking of you.